The end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, folks, today we're going to jump on that gigantic Sharp interactive board and go through Sharp's first half FY2024. You know, Sharp's had some hiccups, some struggles with their display device business unit, the factory in Sakai, Japan. I think I said that right. But at the end of the day, what Sharp is going through is a lesson for all manufacturers, regardless of what you're manufacturing. And the lesson is, sooner or later, supply and demand will affect what you're manufacturing. And this is a big concern regarding all my friends that manufacture printers and MFPs. Yesterday I did an episode talking about the consolidation of manufacturing, and I do believe we're going to get down to just a couple of manufacturers. One of the reasons I was sharing with my friends at Sharp, call up Fujifilm and see if they'll manufacture all the printers for you. Join a consolidation of the manufacturing of print equipment so that Sharp can focus on manufacturing those things that are in businesses that have massive growth potential. And there's a lot of things that Sharp manufactures that have massive growth potential. But MFPs and printers, we all know that industry. People print less. When people print less, guess what? Well, they demand the equipment that prints less. There has to be a consolidation. And this lesson that Sharp's teaching everybody about a factory that basically costs too much to run and maintain based on the output or the demand from the end users. So without any further ado, let's jump on the board. I'll share what I put together. Top line revenue for the whole conglomerate for the first half is $7.1 billion. Got an operating profit of $2.6 million, and I got to get my red pen out here. I got to circle that because that's not enough. And I don't have to tell Sharp that. They know that, 0.4%. But they did have an extraordinary event regarding a gain on an investment, bringing their bottom line profit to $148.4 million for the first half. But again, you know, extraordinary events, you know, gains on investment, that doesn't happen every quarter, every month. It's an extraordinary event. Sharp has to figure out how to increase their operating profit as a conglomerate. They get it, they know it. And the way they're going to increase it is to continue to do what they got to do with the one area of their business is dragging down their operating profit, the display device business. But folks, I wanted to look at this investment, this gain on the investment. I couldn't really find out what they gained on the investment or what the investment was in. I don't know if it has anything to do with the factory, you know, the factory that they're shutting down. You know, they talked about turning that into an AI data center. I don't know if part of this is part of that. Who knows? But they did recognize $182.6 million gain on sale of an investment. And they recognized that second quarter for the FY we're in currently right now, which ends 3 of 2025. They say that $65.4 million of the $182.6 million was actually recognized in the first quarter. Again, I don't know what that was in. And it was extraordinary. It's a gain on an investment. It's not going to happen every month or quarter. I also noticed that Foxconn sold Sharp. We all know that Foxconn is a major equity position in Sharp, but they sold Sharp some patents. You know, don't really know what these patents are, but these, you know, anytime you have patents, that's an asset. How will this help Sharp in their assets? How will this help Sharp financially? Who knows, but something to pay attention to. Let's look at the numbers by the segments. We know that Sharp has two categories of business. They have the brand business unit and they have the device business unit. In the brand business unit, we have Smart Life and Energy. We have Smart Office. That's where those friends of mine that sell supply and service print equipment care about. And we have Universal Network. For the brand business, the total was $4.6 million. Smart Life and Energy, $1.5 billion. Smart Office, $2.1 billion. Universal Network, just under $1 billion at $999.1 million. If you look at the device business unit, total revenue was $2.6 billion. The display device, the area they're having all the problems in because of the cost to run these factories and clean up this deliverable, revenue was $1.7 billion. In the electronics device, it was $862.5 million, just about ready to cross into $1 billion. But let's look at the operating profit, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you bring in, it matters how much you keep. So the operating profit for the Smart Life division within brand business was $53.8 million, or 3.6%. Smart Office was $117.9 million, 5.5%, which, by the way, the smart office operating profit represents 60% of the operating profit in that whole entire brand business unit. So good job on that. I mean, at the end of the day, the smart office is profitable. The profit was 5.5%. It'd be nice if it gets up to 8 or 9. We'll see where they can go with this, but they're making operating profit. Universal Network, $23.3 million. The total for the brand business for operating profit was $195.7 million. But here's where the problem comes in. That display device business unit. For the first half, we're down $160.7 million. And folks, you know, it's shrinking. The losses are shrinking. Sharp is aligning the cost with the reality. The plant's got to get finished closing. They got to align what they're going to manufacture, how they're going to manufacture it, where they're going to manufacture it, and make sure that those costs align with what the customers are going to buy. And right now they're still out of alignment, but they're working on it. Electronic device, $29.9 million in operating profit. So for the device business unit as a whole, it had a loss of $130.2 million. And that's where the problems are. And at the end of the day, they got to fix that problem. They know it. And hopefully, with this factory completely shutting down, they can get that profit fixed. But I wanted to look at a couple of things. I wanted to take the brand business, the category of brand business, the category of device business, and just kind of look and see what these different segments produce in revenue as a percentage to the whole of Sharp and in revenue as a percentage for the division. So if we start in that brand business division, and that's where we have Smart Life, Smart Office, and Universal Network. If we start out with the Smart Life and Energy, Smart Life and Energy represents 21% of Sharp's total revenue so far this year. 33% of the revenue of the brand division. Smart Office, 30% of Sharp's total revenue comes from Smart Office. 46% of the revenue of Smart Office represents the total revenue of the brand business unit. And the Universal Network, 14% of its revenue is against Sharp's total and 21% of the brand business revenue. You can clearly see the Smart Office is extremely important. To Sharp as a corporation, 30% of their total revenue and 46% of the revenue of the division, the brand business division. They say in here that they want to maintain and expand customer base by strengthening solutions, lineup, and capability. Explore new service areas through IT service dealers. MSP reseller engagement. Sharp, this could be a home run for you. You got to get your glass technologies in the hands of these IT service providers all over the world and get them to sell these products. You know, the print thing, the IT community could care less about print. But the IT services community, they could sell a lot of your glass technologies. And I think you got to make it easier for them to understand how to use these, how to sell these, how to demo this stuff, how to deliver it into the marketplace based on finance and all the things that we're great at in the print space. Because the IT reseller is just dealing with one of your distributors on this, I don't think will move the needle. If you really, really want to penetrate that IT services channel, then you got to build a reseller network like you did with the print. And really focus in that IT space with all these other products that you sell. And I think you could change the game big time and move the needle farther than you're going to move it by allowing these folks just to deal with distributors. Just my thinking. Let's look at this device business unit. If you think about the area where Sharp's having all their struggles, this is where all their profits get sucked out of the company, is in this display device. Display device represents 24% of Sharp's total revenue. And it's 66% of the revenue in the device business unit. It's pretty important component from a revenue standpoint, you know. And so they have to align the cost to deliver those products with the marketplace. Some of the things they're talking about regarding small and medium displays. Reduce plant number 2 production capacity from 2,000 to 1,500 sheets a day. They're not talking about sheets of paper. They're talking about sheets of glass. Plant number 3, production capacity. Reduce it from 2,280 sheets to 1,100 sheets a day. You know, close the Sakai OLED production line. Just close that damn thing down, and we all know they're closing that down. They had talked about turning that into an AI data center. And again, I don't know if that's where they got that recognized gain on an investment or not. But clearly, Sharp understands they have an issue with this display device. Sharp's making the adjustments they need in the manufacturing of the products to make sure it aligns with the market realities and supply and demand. The quicker they can figure that out and get that in line, the quicker we'll see their profits go up. But folks, you know, Sharp talks about growth of the future. They talk about how the circle size indicates the scale of the business. So you can see over here, Smart Office. You know, here we are today and here we are in 2027. They want to grow that Smart Office business. And there is potential in that Smart Office business to grow. I do believe that the growth that they're going to realize in print will just be displacement growth. As we start seeing some of the players, some of them could actually go away. And when players go away, then the others can consume that customer, if you will, right? But we all know that print itself is declining. So the future, the growth of Smart Office will be in other technologies. Technologies that Sharp has available today and technologies that Sharp will invent or come across or buy into as time goes on. But there is potential in that office space. There's a potential with getting different types of resellers, like the IT services community, something they talk about. It's all important stuff. But I will say this. How will OEM collaboration play in Smart Office? You know, I am convinced that if Sharp just went to their friends at Fujifilm and said, make all of our MFPs, we're going to focus on making other stuff, they might even be able to form an alliance with Fujifilm on the other stuff they make. Getting Fujifilm to distribute some of that other stuff they make besides MFPs and printers to their distribution channel. There has to be some thinking out of the box. There has to be folks that are willing to talk with once fierce competitors. There has to be alliances made. We're going to change the game, disruption and innovation. Well, makes for strange bedfellows, I assure you. I found this, and I shared this when I was going through Kyocera's financials, but this is a company called KDDI, and KDDI is a big telephony company in Japan, and they actually have in their presentation to their shareholders, they bring up this Sakai plant site, the Sharp plant site. They talk about an AI data center, Sharp, repurposing ample power and extensive land, aiming for full-scale operation, FY26. So the question is, how the hell does Sharp benefit from this? It would be really nice to understand that. Where's Sharp sitting with KDDI? Is there a joint venture on this? Is Sharp going to collect revenue from this forever? Did we just see what they collected? Was that the investment gain? I thought it was a good question. Now I want to talk about Sharp's direct model. Folks, I got to tell you at Sharp, I don't think you should be in the direct business. And when I look at this, and I look at all your areas, you got 38 locations according to the website that I'm guessing are your direct operations. And then I just wanted to apply some math to this. And I started out, if you had 38 locations and each location was doing $10 million a year, that's $380 million. If they were doing $15 million, it would be $570 million. It's like 4% of your total revenue. And folks, if you got up, I just don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. The cost to do things direct is expensive. Are you better off to focus on manufacturing really good products and then helping resellers get those products out into the end users and avoiding the cost to deliver yourself? I think all the print OEMs have got to be thinking about this because things are changing and changing drastically. Sharp, bring a differentiator into the marketplace that resellers would love to sell. That differentiator will be the products that you manufacture. It'll also be maybe some of the secret sauce, if you will, and how you take it to the market. That could be through creative financing. It could be through bundling. You got the Dynabook. You got so many products. I talk about this all the time. The OEM product portfolio is the relevance, not their direct operations. Sharp, your relevance is your portfolio. Sharp Electronics has the most robust portfolio for the office. of all of the print OEMs. I mean, folks, just go to their websites. Sharp's got the print stuff. We know it. They even got the big giant machine from Fuji. They got notebooks. They got projectors. They got interactive displays. They've got more technology that offices use than any other OEM in our space. And they really should be highlighting that. They should be rifle focused on that. And they got to figure out how to bring those products into the marketplace, not just through the print channel, but through other channels as well. And it excites the hell out of me to see in their financial materials them talking about the IT services reseller channel. And by thinking, to sum this up, focus on products which will benefit the resellers and the end users. Transfer the cost to deliver direct to end user to discounts and dealer reseller marketing. All the cost to deliver direct, you don't need it. None of these other OEMs in our space need it. You could take those dollars you're spending to do that and shift some of that to better marketing, getting more creative in how you go to market through the reseller channel. And I'll wrap it up. Seriously consider Fujifilm as an MFP manufacturer. This will allow Sharp to focus on manufacturing growth products within both brand and device business units. Sharp, you will be challenged like everybody else. We all know that the printers are going to decline and the manufacturing of printers has to consolidate. You have the most robust product line outside of print equipment of everybody in our industry. Take advantage of it, seize the opportunity. Because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that will be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.